Let's be honest. Have you ever wondered if you're doing this whole parenting thing right? We all look for that perfect formula, that one-size-fits-all rule book. But what if it's not about that at all? What if it's really about the small, everyday behaviors that over time create the big picture? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to break down.
So, what even is a parenting style? It's definitely not that one time you lost your cool or that one perfect family photo. It's the overall pattern, the consistent vibe of your interactions. Is there a general sense of warmth? Are the rules clear or do they change all the time? Is it easy to talk openly? It's these patterns that really shape a child's world. And to help us out, our source material gives us this fantastic visual guide. It breaks down parenting into 9 really distinct behavior styles. We're going to use this as our map to explore what each one means, and more importantly, the kind of impact it can have.
All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start with a quick look at what these styles really are. Then we'll dive into the constructive approaches, the ones that tend to build kids up. After that, we'll look at the more challenging ones. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with some key takeaways.
Okay, before we go any further, there's something super important to remember. These are not rigid boxes. They're not meant to label you or anyone else. The truth is, most parents are a mix of these things. What we're really focusing on here are the dominant patterns, your go-to responses that ultimately shape how a child sees the world and themselves.
Okay, let's jump into the good stuff, the constructive approaches. Think of these as the building blocks for a really strong foundation of trust, connection, and, you guessed it, resilience.
First up, supportive. I mean, the image here really says it all, doesn't it? It's all about being that steady, comforting presence. This is the safe harbor parent, the one whose actions say, I've got your back, I believe in you, especially when the going gets tough. Next, we have emotionally responsive. And folks, this one is just massive. It's about seeing and validating a child's feelings, even when those feelings seem totally over the top to us. A lost toy might feel like the end of the world to a 5-year-old. This style says, I see you're upset and it's okay to feel that. That's how kids learn their emotions matter.
Now, let's talk about encouraging. The real secret sauce here is what the parent isn't focused on, and that's perfection. They're not praising the perfect grade. They're praising the hard work it took to study for the test. This approach celebrates the journey, the effort, and that is absolutely fundamental for building real, lasting self-esteem.
Then there's the respectful style. This one sounds simple, but it is so profound. It's about seeing your child as a whole person, with their own thoughts and feelings, not just a mini you. It means actually listening to their ideas. It's the difference between saying, because I said so, and asking, what do you think we should do? That simple shift fosters a huge sense of self-worth.
And that idea of respect flows right into our last constructive style, guiding. This isn't about lecturing, it's about partnership. So instead of just punishing a mistake, a guiding parent uses it as a teaching moment. Okay, that didn't work. What can we do differently next time? It's all about building wisdom, not just demanding obedience.
All right, now we have to shift gears and look at the other side of the coin, the challenging approaches. And it's really important we look at these not to judge, but just to recognize behaviors that might, create some hurdles for a child's development down the road.
First up in this group is the controlling style. You can almost feel the tension in that image, right? This is the classic because I said so approach. It's focused on managing every little thing and demanding obedience. And sure, it might get you what you want in the short term, but it can really crush a child's ability to think for themselves. This slide just lays it out so perfectly. Look at the contrast. On one side, the message is, do as I say. On the other, it's, let me show you how. One is all about blind obedience, while the other is about fostering real understanding. That difference right there, it's everything when it comes to raising independent, thoughtful human beings. Next, we have the neglectful style. This is when a parent might be physically there, but they're emotionally checked out. It's this deep absence of attention and care that can leave a child feeling totally invisible and basically forces them to figure out their entire emotional world all on their own. Now, the overprotective style. This one's tricky because it almost always comes from a place of deep love, but it's driven by fear. By trying to protect a child from every possible mistake or disappointment, this style can accidentally stop them from learning how to be resilient. They never get the chance to learn for themselves that they can handle tough stuff.
And finally, we have the inconsistent style. Just imagine for a second that the rules of your world changed every single day. Something that got you praised on Monday gets you in trouble on Tuesday. That kind of unpredictability creates a ton of anxiety for a kid. It's just impossible to feel safe and secure when you never know where the lines are.
Whew, okay. So we've walked through this entire spectrum, right? From the behaviors that really build the child up to those that can create some pretty serious challenges. So let's try to pull it all together. So, what's the bottom line here? First, and this is the most important one, these are patterns, not permanent labels. We can always change our patterns. Second, those constructive approaches, support, respect, encouragement, that's how you build a foundation of trust. And on the flip side, the challenging styles often create insecurity. So if you just remember two things from today, make it these. Consistency is vital, and the goal should always be to guide understanding, not just control behavior.
And that brings us to our last thought. As you look at these 9 styles, this isn't about judging yourself or anyone else. It's just about awareness. So the question I want to leave you with is this. Which of these behaviors do you recognize? Maybe from your own childhood, or maybe in your life today? Because just understanding these patterns is the first and most powerful step toward building stronger, healthier connections.